Welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of what I hope is your favorite English show on your favorite radio station. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Vaughn Radio.
That's right, folks, Vaughn Radio, and it's time for Liftoff.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
Countdown with
6,
me. I need
5,
your help,
4,
folks.
3, 2.
You got this.
1.
Come on.
0.
We got
Ignition.
this.
Liftoff.
Come on, baby.
Liftoff.
Winner, chicken dinner. Get up there.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no
It's Show with No Name
names.
tonight on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name.
You ready, baby?
Let's go.
That's right, folks. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. It's the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. And I trust that you guys are nice and warm. Well, at least you're English. Fijaos en este nice and. Bueno, no he dicho nice and, he dicho nice and. Es bastante. We use it a lot. So I hope you are nice and warm. I know you are nice and warm because you might have spent the last hour with my good buddy Fitz. Great dude, and he's going to be joining me very soon for the St. Patrick's Day episode of FYI. So that's really exciting. Stay tuned. Another reason you should follow Vaughn on social media. Follow me as well because, well, there's so much going on. We've got the book fair. It's not too far away. We've got trivia nights. Of course, you get tons of content as well, which is key. So follow us on social media, amigos. Yeah, well, you know, we're digital. We're on the cutting edge. Vaughn is on the cutting edge in La Vanguardia, and I am proud to say that we have not only teamed up with Amazon and Alexa. If you haven't done that yet, you've got to try it out. You just have to say, Amazon Assistant, su nombre, quiero aprender el idioma que estamos mirando. And you can learn English with this Amazon Assistant and Vaughn. Check it out. Also, recently, we've teamed up with Oxford. ¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. Podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. I told you. Follow us. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan. That's right. If you want to find out more, you can go to our website, grupovon.com, or I think the easiest way is to follow us on social media. And that'll also give you an edge. An edge, un borde. Bueno, sí, pero también an edge es una ventaja in our section called Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Come on. Pop Quiz. Come on. Pop Quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. You'd better sing it with me. Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Rebota, rebote, tu culo explota.
Pop quiz. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Rebota, rebote, tu culo explota.
Pop quiz. That's right, folks. It's our surprise quiz that you know is coming. You just don't know what angle it's coming from. And today we're going to take a look at a translation from my amiga Tash Pasqua. Remember, she hosts the very popular program, which, by the way, Tash, keep it up. I heard from Rob Grams. As you guys know, Rob Grams not only is one of the presenters on two shows on Vaughn Radio, the Pro Bow Show and the Lunchtime Show with Andy, but he's also running Vaughn Radio, right? He's also behind the scenes doing so much as well. So, folks, you've got all that stuff. You've got Tash Pasqua, you've got Rob and Andy. You've got Ximena, and that's all right after this show. The best way to make sure you never miss any of your favorite episodes is by downloading the Vaughn Radio app or following us wherever you listen to podcasts. And I know it's a little bit premature because Friday's not too close yet, but just a reminder, I'm going to be kicking off season 5 of FYI with the one and only Richard Vaughn, ladies and gentlemen. So, you are in for a treat. That's all I'll say. Os espera una sorpresa. You're in for a treat. As expected, it was a wonderful conversation with Richard Vaughn, which I was lucky enough to be able to record and conduct the interview. And he offers not only business insight, okay, consejos, insight, otra forma de decirlo, conocimiento. He offers life insight, language learning insight. So for me, it was just a learning experience, and I really hope you guys enjoy that episode. So again, that's wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts. If you listen to podcasts, if you listen to the radio, well, that's fine. Just go to, if you're an Apple user, Apple Podcasts. If you like iVox, which is very popular in Spain, check that one out. It's con dos O's. Also, another very popular one is Spotify. So you can find us on all of these popular platforms and even more. I'm on, I know FYI is on a lot of platforms that I've never even heard of, but they're very popular in the United States. But I've been living here for almost 20 years. My point is, we are everywhere, or at least try to be everywhere, so that you can catch all the programs, whether it's a Vaughn Radio program or an FYI episode. So make sure you check them out. You don't have to miss any episodes. And remember this, in August, okay, and even December. So let's say December and August, Vaughn Radio usually takes a hiatus, a pause, right? And that's for many reasons. It's because, well, many people are with their families. Also, many people want to be with their families. Nacho, Tino. So, these guys are humans too. They want to spend time with their families. So, we have a little break, we have a little pause. So you always have that content to fill in, those times. Oh, well, I missed this episode. Well, jot it down, or make a playlist of shows that you need to catch up on, FYI episodes. The good thing about FYI is I'm not really interested in bees, you know. I'm not interested in bees, or I'm not interested in sharks or Walt Disney. Well, then you can just check the next episode because it'll be on artificial intelligence, or it'll be on, let's see, donuts, for example, which, by the way, thank you for all the feedback. I love getting feedback from you guys. And the feedback I got about the donuts episode, even my wife said it was fun. It was great. I enjoyed it. I said, oh, wow, cool. Um, you know, the number one comment, and I'll put them all together into one comment, was, Alberto, I don't know how you did it, but you managed to talk about donuts for, almost 45 minutes. 45 minutes if you have both episodes. As you guys know, there's always a bonus episode too, a second episode. So they're like, you managed to talk about donuts for like 45 minutes and make it interesting. So, well, I learned a lot too. I learned that every country has their own donuts. I learned that there's a Cambodian guy who is the donut king of the West Coast. And he gave many he empowered many Cambodian immigrants to start making their own dough. To start making their own dough. Su propia masa, su propia pasta, dinero. Well, hey, check it out, folks, if you haven't listened to that episode, because there's a new episode that comes out every single week, and it's perfect. I do it on purpose on Fridays, so because I know you have the show with no name all week long. So on Friday, you got a little extra dose, a little bonus for the weekend. And the same thing I ask you guys, if you love the show with no name, if you love Vaughn Radio, you don't know how much it helps us when you leave 5 stars, when you leave a comment. I personally love when you guys leave comments because for me, it's just a wonderful opportunity to hear from you guys. And, usually since they're all positive, thankfully, it's like, wow, okay, I guess it is worth it. Because a lot of times, I think to myself, wow, producing a podcast every week is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You know me. I'm very blunt. Blunt es otra forma de decir franco, sincero. I'm very blunt. Digo las cosas como son. I don't sugarcoat them. But now I lost my train of thought. I totally lost it takes a lot of work to produce each episode, the bonus episodes. As many of you know, there's bonus content. But when I read those comments, it makes all that research, porque también, that's another thing. I don't just sit down and say, I'm going to talk about donuts. I start to live in the world of donuts. And yes, as I said, sometimes I have to use myself as a test subject. And, during the donut episode, I had to test a few extra donuts. It's quite interesting that the next episode that I produced after donuts and St. Patrick's Day, which is beer, really, is biking. Maybe there's a method to my madness. Okay, I'm going to fill them up on donuts and beer in March, and then we're going to get at the end of March, we're going to get on our bikes and get in shape for the summer season. So I didn't really do that on purpose, but I'd like to. It sounds good, doesn't it? All right, amigos. So our pop quiz, I said, if you follow us, of course, you'll be able to learn tons of different things. You'll keep up to date with what's going on in the Vaughn world, and you'll learn from teachers such as Tash Pasqua. Here's her translation that she gives us today. It says, Mi padre se encontró los apuntes del cole mientras ordenaba el salón. So, mi padre se encontró, como sin querer, topó con los apuntes del cole mientras ordenaba el salón. That is your translation, amigos. It comes from Tash Pasqua and her amazing program. It's called Back to Basics. And as I always tell you, the name shouldn't fool you. It is exclusively for superstars. All right, well, let's go on over to our virtual classroom. Many of you can be here with us live every day, which is absolutely fantastic. Those of you who can't be here live with us every day, that's for you. You deserve it. You deserve it, folks. And by the way, we're going to hear from one of our students today, one of your fellow students, but a little bit later on. Let's hear from all of you right now. Let's get a beat going. There it is. All right, let's go down the attendance list here. Jay Plante says, hey, Double A and friends. Long Tim, no C. Oh, what's up? I didn't know you changed your name to Tim. Jay Plante. Interesting. What's up? Tim Plante? German says, morning, guys. How's it going? Now that you're here, German, we are ready to rock. There's Born to Iron Man, super duper show with no namer. And he says, morning, people, glad to be with you all again. And we're glad to have you with us. I'm sure I speak on behalf of all of you. En nombre de, on behalf of all of you. Monse, there she is. She's another superstar, show with no namer. And she says, hi, guys. How you doing? Well, good. Great. We are doing fantastic. Now that you're here, Monse, you're the cherry on top. La guinda. Oh, and there's the whipped cream and sprinkles. Mi padre. My dad. The whipped cream is la nata, and the sprinkles, ¿cómo llamáis estos? Vituritas, the little colores que se echan encima del helado. We looked at it in the donut episode. It makes sense in English. Sprinkles. Why? Porque rocías, esparciar, you sprinkle them on top. So that's why we call them sprinkles. I think the British call them tens and thousands or hundreds. Felipe, una amiga, my friend Suzanne from English Smarts. Follow her, by the way. She's an amazing teacher. And she said, those are called hundreds and thousands, o algo así. And I said, what? She said, yeah, hundreds and thousands. I said, oh my God. Been calling them. Well, that just shows you, depending on what side of the pond you're on, you can learn a whole different English. Speaking of being on the other side of the pond, there's my dad. He's the icing on the cake, the sprinkles, the colorful sprinkles. And he says, good morning, Alberto family and friends. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. What's up? There's Laura. Laura, our lovely Laura. Not to be confused with Lara, but I get it. I know what happens there. You hear something and you write it down. It happens to me all the time. Laura says, good morning. Amazing show with no namers. Let's spend 2 magical hours together. Laura, I love the way you think. And you know what you need right there, right? I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Good morning, amazing show with no namers. Let's spend 2 magical hours together. Now, Laura would say, that's more like it. Now we're talking. Ahora sí. There's Salvador. Salvador says, hello, Double A and classmates. Today I am over the moon to be here. All right. I'm not going to read the rest, Salvador, because I like to, the element of surprise. So just hang out, man. Hang out. Wait for it, como decimos en inglés. How are you? Glad to have you on board. We're over the moon to have you too, Salvador. Let's see. Laura participating in our pop quiz, sponsored by Tash Pasqua and Back to Basics. What a great show. What a great teacher. I'm going to have her on FYI soon, too, to talk about parenting in English. Ser padre en inglés. No, enseñanza de inglés como padre. Laura says, my dad came across his old school notes. while he was tidying up the living room. Nice. Nice. Okay. So my dad came across, excellent, his old school notes while he was tidying up the living room. Laura, it's perfect. Let's see. Who else? Anybody else want to say it in a different way? Let's see. Well, I can give you another way. I expected a few other people to try it there because there are many different ways to say that. So, mi padre se encontró los apuntes del cole mientras ordenaba el salón. Well, let's look at ordenar to start out. Tidy up? I don't say tidy up. Why? Because I'm not British, mate. I don't say tidy up. I say clean up. Although I remember when my daughter was at Montessori, she came home, and once I realized they taught her, everybody tidy up, tidy up, tidy up, everybody tidy up, my fair lady. Everybody tidy up, tidy up, tidy up. Everybody tidy up, my fair lady. I added the my fair lady because my fair lady is the real, in English. You say Frère Jacques, we say my fair lady. But I thought it was brilliant because they're like, okay, kids, we're going to sing while we tidy up. But as an American, I would say clean up. We got to clean up. But the song doesn't sound the same. Everybody clean up. You got to, it's just, hay cosas que suenan mejor. So para la canción, we say, everybody tidy. I guarantee you guys are singing along. Just like my daughter's hit, her new hit, like you. And I don't know, and I don't want like you. All right, so tidy up or clean up, which is different because we don't wash the house. We wash the dishes, we wash the clothes, but we clean up or we tidy up, which means no significa que tienes que lavar nada realmente. Eso ahí es limpiar, organizar. Now, another word that has a double another usage here, or another way to say it, a synonym. The living room or the den. La guarida. Guarida? I always mispronounce that. So my father came across his school notes while he was tidying up or cleaning up the den or the living room. Wow. Did you ever think you were going to have so many options in English? Let's see. Monse says, my father found the school notes while tidying up the living room. That works. To find, right? Okay, if we say came across, it means, oh, there they are. I didn't expect to find them, but that works. We didn't say, which encontrar. So that found, but as long as we know the difference, to come across something is, oh, this, look, I was looking for that last week. Coming across something means, finding it when you least expect it. It's the same as with a person. We run into people or we bump, literalmente, chocar. We run into or we bump into people, right? And how do we say coches de choque? Bumper cars. Because you bump into each other. And what do they all have? A bumper para choques. Can that get any easier? And un chinchón en la cabeza when you hit your head, that's a bump too. Y estas bandas sonoras para que ralentices so you slow down on the street, those are called speed bumps too. So I think we just figured out all the different uses of the word bump. Let's see. Kubla says, good morning, pleasing folks. What's up? How's it going, Kubla? Chris, morning, Alberto and mates. Today I have to go before. Oh, no way, Chris. No, I'm joking. But I'm going to enjoy the show as much as I can. That's the idea. That's the attitude. Laura says, clean up everybody everywhere. Clean up everybody. Do your share. Oh, my God, Laura. I don't know that one, but I love it. I don't know the rhythm. You got to let me know. This is the rhythm of the song. That's brilliant, Laura. Thank you. See, guys, the show with no name. It's about learning English, but it's also about sharing. But right now, we are off to what I can't believe is our first commercial break. We've got so much to do when we come back. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Welcome back, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Von Radio. It's part 2 of today's show. I can't believe how fast the first part of the show went by, and we've got so much to do now, folks. We've got our Say What soundbite. We're going to do our spelling bee. Don't forget about homophones. And we're going to hear from a student, a fellow student of yours, who is partying and has decided to bring us along. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you as well. So many amazing things coming up. Guys, if you want to participate on the show, you want to have a voice on the show, send me a 1-minute voice message. You can send it to my email. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, aalonso@grupovon.com. All right, amigos. Well, being as we've got so much to do, let's kick off with today's Say What? Say what? What? Tero patatero. You heard the man. The remix. Tero patatero. One of the funniest phrases ever. Tema de verano aquí. All right. I'll stop. Hey, hay días que no te enteras de nada. Cero, patatero. All right, guys, welcome to the Say What soundbite. We're going to hear from a famous person. Before we hear from a famous person on the show with no name, one of your fellow students. As you guys know, I don't worship famous people. I don't even know who they are. To me, you guys are the famous people. Seriously, you're the stars. Why do I call you guys stars every day, don't I? Todos los días. I say every day. I say you guys are stars. I don't, okay, I like some actors, I like some singers, but I don't idolize. Okay, I like this person's advice the same way if somebody at the supermarket, an old man or the cashier gives me advice, that's I like that. I'm willing to get advice and philosophy from anywhere. It's the key, I think, in the learning process is to be open-minded, to have the right mindset, the right outlook. And you want to know something? Richard Vaughn talks about that on the upcoming episode of FYI. All right, well, let's listen to today's Say What soundbite, and I'll have you guys sum it up, and then hopefully somebody will be able to write it all down. Here we go.
A better high means customers pay more. A higher purity means a greater yield. That's $130 million of profit that isn't being pissed away by some substandard cook. Now you listen to me.
All right. I think it's crystal clear. Oh my God, sin querer te da una pista ahí. Okay. I know Monse is going to know this one without a doubt, who it is. And I just gave you a clue. I'm serious. There's no way I could be that witty on purpose. No podría ser tan listo, pero me salió ahí sin querer. All right, so crystal clear. Okay, no estaba apuntado eso. But it's a huge clue as to who it is and where it's from. All right, let me give it to you for a second time, and then I'd like you guys to sum up what you heard in your own words. And then remember, our ultimate goal by the end of the show is to write it all down word for word. Everybody ready? Here it goes for the second time.
A better high means customers pay more. A higher purity means a greater yield. That's $130 million of profit that isn't being pissed away by some substandard cook. Now you listen to me.
All right, there you go, folks. There you go. That's 2 listens, and hopefully you guys will be able to figure that out. As I said, we heard from one of your fellow students, so let's see what this person has to say.
Hi, thanks for calling the show with no name. I can't get to the phone right now, so please leave a message after the tone.
Here he comes to save the day. This is Salvador from Valencia, so you may hear some firecrackers in the background. I'm one of those who struggle trying to keep up the pace with your top students. Talking about your show, the chosen platform is very convenient for me, and it brings me the same excitement I felt decades ago when I discovered Bond TV shows. It may sound a dry compliment, but you have managed to transform this whole process into a pleasure. I believe that I speak on behalf of all of us when I say that we love to stay connected to all of your shows all day long, as we can. In the field of teaching English, you have lighted a prairie fire that has taken over the whole of Spain. I love your attitude towards life. Please go easy on my faulty pronunciation as I'm a bit worn around the edges. Keep up the great work.
Wow, for somebody who's worn around the edges, desgastado, you sounded great, guys. That is your buddy. And I told you, I didn't want to give it away before when you said it, but that is Salvador. And excellent job. I think all of your classmates will agree. Thank you for the feedback. I'm so glad that you get it, that you find excitement, you find enjoyment in what we do, because we really genuinely try to enjoy teaching, enjoy preparing the lessons. And Salvador apologized when he wrote to me, and he goes, dude, I'm really sorry because, there are firecrackers in the background. But then you're talking about lighting somebody's passion for English, and then a firework. I don't know if it was a firework or a firecracker. Firecrackers, La Pequeña, and Firework, la canción de Katy Perry. A firework are the big ones, los fuegos artificiales. Petardo versus fuegos artificiales. So it couldn't have been better. In fact, in one of them, one of those blasts, I actually turned the volume up. I isolated it because I was like, Salvador, are you kidding me? That's the perfect guys. When I say, no distractions in the background, if you've got like fireworks going off in the background, no matter what you're saying, it's going to sound like a Hollywood ending. And great. Salvador, I would tell you the same thing I would tell most of my students. Slow down and enjoy what you're saying. You did enjoy it, but I feel like sometimes like people are like, I'm going to say it fast and I'm going to get it out. And that's great. Don't try and speak. I speak too fast, I think. Some people are like, what? Huh? I'm like, yeah, never mind. My mind said one thing and my mouth said another thing. So in general, guys, take your time. Enjoy what you're saying. Don't be afraid to take little pauses. I'm saying this aloud to myself as well. So excellent job. I think everybody will agree that our amigos from Valencia, born to Iron Man included, they are ready to party. Estáis listos para la fiesta. And the one we're talking about is Fallas, because you guys are definitely on fire. Okay. Horrible joke. I guess that's a perfect time to move on to today's spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's our spelling bee. And remember, if you guys want to send us a message as Salvador did, you can do it. You just record it on your phone and you can send it to my email address. Are you ready? Write this down. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. Now, if you can get fireworks or firecrackers in the background, wow. I'm going to start calling you guys Steven Spielberg or, something to that effect. All right, let's take a look at today's spelling bee. As always, I'm going to fly through these words on the first go. The second time, I'll be a lot nicer. Is everybody ready? This is round one. These are people's names, so they will be capitalized. The first one is ROSALIND space FRANKLIN. The second one is LISE space MEITNER. The third one is CHARLES space BEST. The fourth one is EUNICE space FOOTE. Empiezo de nuevo esa. FOOTE. Hasta yo, ¿ves? Como nativo me equivoco. The fifth one is NETTIE space STEVENS. And the last one is JOCELYN space BELL space BURNELL. Whoa. I'll give you guys a little clue if you would like. Let me see if I've got a clue on hand that could maybe help you guys out. All right, there's a little clue for you. Let's see a couple comments while we see if anybody was able to figure them out on the first go. Nihad, what's up? Oh, no, Christian. Sorry about the pronunciation. Chris, I'm going to call you Chris. Chris says, good morning from Brighton, UK. Awesome. Thanks so much, mate. Well, ¿cómo estás en UK? Mate es la palabra. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's awesome. There's Nihad, a super show with no namer always bringing the good vibes. And he says a good teacher is one who has the knowledge of the English language and the personality of a politician. Oh, no. Are you talking about like the president of my country doesn't really have a person? Good morning. I get what you mean. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Alberto. Good morning to you, Nihada. Just, being compared to a politician, I see a lot of you guys are giving Salvador tons of kudos and well deserved. Hey, who knows? Maybe Salvador and Born to Iron Man can get together for some horchata or something during the fallas this year. And as Laura points out, the fireworks, I mean, that's the cherry on top. The cherry on top. Let's see, Monse. Monse says, okay, this is the Say What soundbite. Great job, Monse. Thanks for participating. She says, I heard an American actor explaining how in baking, or is it breaking, purity is important. I'll tell you something, Monse. I couldn't have said it better myself. I couldn't have said it better myself. Seriously. Let's see. Monse says, Salvador, nice to hear from you. That was nice and fun. By the way, I'll be in Castellón next week landing a new job. Well, awesome. Monse, congrats on the new job, too. All right. So wonderful. Let's see Kubla participating in the Say What soundbite as well. He says, I heard a manly voiced American male discussing how to conduct business and make more money out of it. Absolutely. Wonderful. Excellent job. Laura says, I heard an American man in a scene from a movie talking about purity and a substantial amount of money. Absolutely. Wonderful job, guys. You're all on the right track. But Monse's got it crystal clear. But let's take a break from that. I can't give you guys any more clues there. Let's see if anybody got our spelling bee on the first go. Let's see. The first person to take a stab at it is Kubla. Let's see. Kubla, the first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third one's correct. The fourth one's correct. The fifth one's correct. And the sixth one's correct. Also, Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol. Wow. So three, the Holy Trinity over there. I'm telling you guys are the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. All right. Let's go through the spelling bee again, but let's give our Holy Trinity, as I'm going to call you guys, a round of applause. All right. Well, let me give you the second round of the spelling bee. This time I'm going to be a nice guy here. Round two. The first person is ROSALIND space FRANKLIN. The second one is LISE space MEITNER. The third one is CHARLES space BEST. The fourth one is EUNICE space FOOTE. The fifth one is NETTIE space STEVENS. And the sixth one is JOCELYN space BELL space Nell. All right, there you go, folks. What does this have to do with a phone over here? Not too sure. Let's see. Chris as well. Chris is participating in the Say What soundbite. She says, I heard an American man who seems to be keeping count, maybe related to a business, because he's talking about customers and all that jazz. Monse, I got ya. Is somebody going to pick up that phone? Seriously. That phone has been ringing off the hook all morning. All right. Well, let's take a look if anybody else, I think a few other people might have gotten. Anybody else get the spelling bee after that second round? Well, either way, a nice round of applause to the people who got it. Also, Monse. Monse says, thanks, guys. It really is a step up in my career, and I got the position in part because of my English level, according to them. So thank you, and keep up learning because it pays off. You don't know how amazing that is. Seriously. That is absolutely beautiful. All right. Well, my amigos, before we look at our spelling bee, it looks like we might, wait a second here. Kubla, let's see. I think you might have gotten today's Say What soundbite. Nice. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Unbelievable. After 2 listens, was that 2? I'm losing track here. Unbelievable. Kubla, he got the Say What soundbite. That's great, guys. I'm proud of all of you, not just here on the show, but outside. When I hear this kind of amazing news, well, as your teacher, I get all proud. I'm proud of my students. All right, let's take a look at our spelling bee people. Now, these were all people who were snubbed. What? Snubbed. Les hicieron el vacío might be a good translation. You know, they didn't get the credit they deserved. So they were inventors, or they came up with some breakthrough, some technology, but they didn't get the credit they deserve. Somebody else got credit for it. And that, I mean, with a lot of inventions, you know, there were predecessors, you know, the inventor of the helicopter, great. But that wouldn't be possible if it hadn't been for Juan de la Cierva, who made the gyrocopter. See what I'm saying? So there's always I know this from FYI, there's always a series of predecessors, right? It's this technology. You can't have a smartphone without the 10 different kinds of technology, the GPS, the 4G, 5G, whatever it is. I don't know anything about this, but you get what I'm saying. There are so many steps, so many milestones that happen. And the reason I chose this topic today was because today in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell, does the name ring a bell? All right. Well, Alexander Graham Bell was granted a patent. Now, if you're British, you say patent. Okay, I have to go to the patent office, and I'm going to get a patent for my new invention. Okay. In the United States, we say, I'm going to go to the patent office and get a patent for my new invention. Okay. And he called it the telephone, as many of you guys know. Now, if you talk to Italians, they'll tell you, and Laura, I don't know if you're here with us, but Laura, my grandfather, and many other people will say, well, Meucci was really, if you look at the paper, again, I'm not claiming anything here. I'm just saying this is stuff that's been debated for decades, for maybe centuries. Well, centuries, 1870, yeah, centuries now. It's been debated. The same thing, Tesla. We've all heard these stories, inventors who did not get credit for for what they did. Hedy Lamarr. It wasn't until, 50 years later, 30, 40, I don't remember. There's an episode, an FYI episode on Hedy Lamarr. We wouldn't have Wi-Fi and this packet sending technology if it hadn't been from her tinkering. To tinker es juguetear, right? Inventarte cosas, tinkering. And so there are a lot of people throughout history who didn't get the glory, but they put in the work, they put in the research to, to discover these things. So again, I'm not saying Meucci, I'm not saying Alexander Graham Bell. I'm explaining it the way I'm seeing everything has developed from the internet. Well, the internet wouldn't be possible if there hadn't been electricity, and electricity wouldn't be possible. So you have to look at all the things. An automobile, for example, it's a ton of different technologies. An airplane, let's not even get into it. Yeah, no, I'm saying for your sake, seriously, let's not even get into it. Okay, let's look at some quick telephone vocabulary. Remember, there's an episode, it's an episode and a chapter, es lo bueno, in English Everywhere. There's a chapter in the book, and then there's an audio episode that goes with it, and we look at all this vocabulary. But let's look at the basics. If the phone's ringing, you got to pick it up. You answer the phone naturally. When you're done speaking, you can hang up the phone, or you can dial another phone number. You can call somebody else. What's another one? Oh, this one I always teach. You're breaking up, which is se te está cortando la voz. I think the translation in Spanish would be se corta la línea. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Remember, we don't say repeat me. Repeat that. You are breaking up. All right, well, folks, I hate to break up this party, but we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with tons more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. That's right, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's the show with no name. And I can't believe we're in the third part of today's show, folks. We've got so much to do. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, you got amazing programs all day long. Just download the free Vaughn Radio app. You can also get more information about all the different things we've got over at grupovaughn.com. You've also got our bookshop, vaughntienda.com, where you can pick up a plethora of English resources to help you get going on your English journey. Also, remember, the book fair isn't too far away. The book fair is May 26th to June 11th. Feria del Libro Madrid. Oh, yeah. I hope you guys can make it. We look forward to that time of year. I know I speak on behalf of all of us. All right, well, folks, we've got a lot of stuff to do, so let's listen to our Say What soundbite. This will be the third listen. Everybody pay close attention and write down what you hear. Okay, is everybody ready here? This is the Say What soundbite for the third time.
A better high means customers pay more. A higher purity means a greater yield. That's $130 million of profit that isn't being pissed away by some substandard cook. Now you listen to me.
All right, amigos, there you go. As I said, we've already got a winner, but I think you guys will be able to figure. I think everybody, knowing your collective level, I expect all of you to be able to participate and at least give it the old college try. The old college try, como lo decimos. Inténtalo, échale. No, inténtalo. Pégale un tiro, no. I'm translating it. Give it a shot. Well, I think you guys get what I'm saying. Sometimes I don't always know the exact translation in Spanish, but I'm learning just like you guys are. We're all in the same boat. All right, well, amigos, let's take a look at our spelling bee. As I said, these are people who did not get credit for their inventions. Rosalind Franklin was the first one, and basically she should have gotten credit for the discovery of DNA. Okay. And finally, now, again, some of these people have gotten recognition many decades later. But as we say in English, too little, too late, oftentimes, right? Their life is over. They didn't have financial success or commercial success, and where everybody knew who you were. So these guys, Crick and Watson, right? In fact, science nerds, there's a joke in the science community. And what did Crick and Watson discover? Okay, Crick and Watson are the guys who got the Nobel Prize for discovering DNA. You say ADN. Well, here it is. And it's sad, but it's I guess it's true. What did Crick and Watson discover? Rosalind Franklin's notes. So, yeah, you guys think that somebody who plagiarizes on Twitter is a big deal, but no, that's a totally different ball game. Eso es harina de otro costal. The next one's Lise Meitner. And I noticed a lot of these were women. I'm not trying to say anything, just saying. Okay? You can draw your own conclusions there. But she should have shared the Nobel Prize for the discovery of nuclear fission. You want to go fishing this weekend? We can go fishing. Nuclear fishing? Where are you guys going? Oh, we're going nuclear fishing. Oh, that sounds like fun. Careful with those three-eyed fish. So Otto Hahn, excuse me, he was awarded the Nobel Prize, but she led the research team, and she would have become the first woman in Germany to become a professor in physics. That was in 1926. But she had to flee because we all know what happened in the 1930s there and 40s. We all know how, what was going on in Europe. But he knows it. In fact, Otto Hahn was aware of the fact that it was an injustice. So again, a lot of these people now, obviously I'm looking at an article where they're being recognized. And this is an article from Oxford, speaking of Oxford English. So, they're being recognized now, but too little, too late. Also, it wasn't just women. As I said, most of them are women here on this list. But there was a guy named Charles Best, but he was bested. That's right. He was bested because Sir Frederick Banting and John MacLeod got the Nobel Prize for the discovery of insulin, right? If you have diabetes, in 1923. All right. Now the diabetes had been diagnosed way before that, but this is with the discovery of insulin. But Charles Best le superaron. They bested him. To sum it up in a sentence or two, Eunice Foot. Something was afoot. Algo estaba ocurriendo. Something was afoot. Well, she was an Irish. Well, first of all, she was an Irish physicist, but the one that everybody knows, the Irish physicist that everybody knows, as far as greenhouse effect is concerned, and greenhouse, you say invernadero effect, same thing. Nosotros llamamos un invernadero a greenhouse, ¿no? Porque anteriormente ahora son más claritos, o right? Mar de plástico. Hey, in Almería, we know the word greenhouse, invernadero. But this is the greenhouse effect. And this guy, John Tyndall, who, again, was the one who was credited for it, had a paper that came out 3 years, a medical paper in a journal that came out 3 years after Eunice Foot's, and the conclusions were the same. So, again, sometimes you can say, okay, they were studying the same thing and they came to the same conclusion, but then, okay, but who did it first, right? Then that would be the next question. So it's that lesson, I guess, that we learn, even for people who have worked their asses off. Life isn't always fair, especially for Nettie Stevens, right? And Nettie Stevens, basically, she had all these theories about pregnancy. Okay, she started to study all kinds of medicine and illnesses, things that had to do with pregnancy and body temperature. She in fact was a secondary school teacher who halfway through her teaching career said, you know what? I'm going to go get a PhD. I'm going to become a doctor. And she did in genetics. And she studied mealworm beetles, okay, a type of bugs. And she noticed something about chromosomes in the sperm. And she said there was a smaller one, and she could be able to track if, it was a girl or a boy. Now that's something you can do, that they have these parties, these reveals. Okay, it's a boy, it's a girl when a kid's going to be born. Some people prefer not to know. In my case, we said, what difference does it make? We're going to love the child exactly the same. So Nettie Stevens, yep, she didn't get the credit. She did not. Edmund Beecher Williams, who was a colleague of hers, was the one who got the credit, which helped people realize, we can determine the sex based on the chromosome. So, interesting. Again, this is stuff that you don't just like figure out reading the New York Times. Like, this is stuff you got to really, really study and do experiments. And the last one is Jocelyn Bell Burnell. And she made one of the most significant astronomical discoveries of the 20th century. She worked on the construction of a radio telescope and, monitoring quasars. ¿Ves? Ahí ya me ha perdido. So she didn't get the Nobel Prize in physics. It was given to Hewish and Martin Ryle. And they were all working on it together, and she was excluded. The word I said before is snubbed. To snub. Vamos a ver cómo lo traducen. To snub. Man, she got snubbed. Desdeñado, despreciado. So anytime you're having a bad day, think of these inventors who never got credit. That's why I always teach you guys that expression. We've got to give credit where credit is due, donde se merece. All right, guys, but we're going to change the subject. Enough about astrophysics and quasars. I need to disconnect a little, and there's no better place than the movies. Name that movie. That's right. That's right. It's Name That Movie, and a nice round of applause for Laura and Monse. Laura and Monse, she nailed it. They nailed it. They also got the Say What soundbite. So excellent job. That's 3 of you already, and we still have one lesson. Listen, not lesson. We've got a lot of lessons left, thankfully, but we've got one listen left. All right, let's go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Here we go. Today's trailer. Let's see if you can figure it out. If not, no worries. We'll take a look at it a little bit later. Oh, wait, where's the trailer? Oh, here it is. Okay. Richard spots a man dumping a body and decides to expose the man he thinks is the culprit with his friend Alex Cutter. Okay, there we go, amigos. Now, I'm sure this has a different name in Spanish. I know how that works, but the name will give you, will give you something. Okay. If you know if the title's anything like it is in English, then I just said a keyword. Let's put it that way. Okay. Estoy haciendo yo el lío aquí. Muy tonto, you know? So Richard spots a man. To spot is to see. Oh, I spot something over there. I spotted. Piensa train spotting, plane spotting, mi hobby, ver aviones. Ese es un A340. Right? Plane spot, to see something. Oh, there it is. To try and see it, right? I spotted a parking spot. That's a miracle in the center of Madrid. So Richard spots a man dumping a body, and to dump is to get rid of, tirar, echar, deshacerse de a body, and decides to exponer, the man he thinks is the culprit. ¿Te suena? Culprit, culpable, with his friend Alex Cutter. Okay, cortador, Alex Cutter. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Hoopla! Nice job. It's Cutter's Way. That's why I said, the moment I said Cutter, at least in English, it gives away the movie. Now, this is a movie that came out in 1981, so it's not exactly from, yesterday or even yesteryear. Okay? Well, you say antaño, pues nosotros decimos también yesteryear. So the movie came out in 1981. In case you haven't heard, it stars John Hurd. No, si no has oído, protagonizada por John Hurd. Well, it sounds like a herd of buffalo. De hecho, así siempre enseño. Porque he oído heard, he oído de todo. So it's hear, heard. Piensa así. I heard a herd of buffalo, una manada de búfalo. I heard a herd. Y la de oír es con la A. La de manada es sin la A. H-E-R-D. ¿Cómo se debe pronunciar? So just remember that over there. So John Hurt. Okay, never mind. I don't want to burn my bridges here, but it also stars Jeff Bridges. No. No quiero cerrar puertas. Jeff Bridges. All right. Jeff Bridges and John Hurd in Cutter's Way from 1981. Let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen for you here. Alex Cutter says, I watched the war on TV just like everyone else, okay? So I watched the war. Remember, we don't look at the TV. I had a student say, last night I looked at the TV. I go, oh, really? And did it do anything special? So remember, we say to watch TV. I watched the war on TV, just like everyone else, okay? Como todos los demás, just like everyone else. Thought the same damn things. Pensé las mismas cosas, las mismas malditas cosas. I thought the same damn things. You know, what you thought when you saw a picture of a young man with a baby lying face down in a ditch. Tú sabes lo que pensaste cuando viste una foto de un hombre, una mujer joven, con un bebé, lying face down, o sea, boca abajo, con la boca ya, in a ditch, en una zanja, en una trinchera. Two gooks. Now, te voy a recomendar que no uses la palabra gook because it's an offensive word for a Chinese or an Asian person. Okay? Two gooks. Don't use the word. I'm just teaching you because it's in the movie. You had 3 reactions, Rich. Same as everybody else. Lo mismo que todos los demás. The first one was real easy. La primera fue muy fácil. I hate the United States of America. Yeah. He snickers. Reírse disimuladamente. He snickers. And then Alex Cutter says, you see, the same damn thing the next day, and you move up a notch. Y subes un peldaño. It's a good word to know. Y subes. You move up a notch. There is no God. But you know what you finally say? What everybody finally says? No matter what, pase lo que pase, I'm hungry. Estoy hambriento. And he laughs. And Alex says, I'm hungry, Rich. I'm fucking starved. Estoy con un hambre que me muero. Estoy muerto de hambre. I'm starved. Yo diría I'm starving. And then Richard Bone, vaya nombre. So you pick out somebody, you blackmail them. Eliges a alguien to pick somebody or to pick them out. Que es diferente que pick up. Okay, pick up puede ser recoger. Ligarte a alguien también es to pick somebody up. Contexto es todo. No solo en inglés, en español también. So you pick out somebody, eliges, escoges a alguien, and you blackmail him. Blackmail. Correo negro, no. Chantaje. Okay? And then Alex answers, I didn't pick him out. You did. And he isn't somebody. He's responsible. Okay, I want you guys to pronounce that with me. Not responsible, responsible. Responsible. Vamos a, let's lower the weapons there. Responsible. Say it. I'm a responsible, not responsible. Responsible. That's the sound. So yeah, now the director's name is Ivan Passer. Okay, y pasó mucho del. Okay, I'll stop. And he said that he went to Jeff Bridges' house to ask him if he would agree to play the role of Bone. Okay, and he went there with the producer. So this was the director Ivan Passer and the producer Paul R. Gurian. Okay, and they went to Jeff Bridges' home to try and talk him into playing the role. They really wanted him for the role. He was perfect. And they went onto his property, and the actor's dog, a big German shepherd, attacked the producer. He bit him on the jaw. I'm dead serious. The jaw. Now, the jaw, what is the jaw? You probably know that if you know the movie about the shark, Mandíbulas. He bit him on the jaw. That's pretty crazy. You're going over there to like, come on, I want you to be in my movie here. And he bit him on the jaw. The guy nearly died. So this is pretty serious here. He nearly died. Now, Jeff Bridges said after, he said, there was no way I could turn down the role then. No había forma de rechazar el papel ahí. He said, I had no choice. I had to either accept the role or be sued for several $1,000,000. So unbelievable. I think that's more interesting than the movie as well. Oh, and the screenwriter, here's another interesting behind the scene fact. The screenwriter, Jeffrey Allen Fiskin, he was so broke, sin pasta. He was so broke that he shoplifted the book to write the screenplay. To shoplift, robar de una tienda. Piensa, levantar de una tienda, hurto, shoplifting. I love those logical words in English. All right, well, folks, before our commercial break, let's check out our homophones. Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And Chris, we'll miss you. Chris has got a jet. Me encanta cuando ponemos esas frases nativas. She's got a jet. She didn't say that. She says, I didn't read the whole thing, but Chris, we'll miss you. And you'll be with us in spirit as always. All right, folks, homophones. This is where we look at those tricky words that I always hear mispronounced. So the question is, A, do you know the words? B, do you know how to pronounce them correctly? As always, give me a full sentence. It's not too tough. The words and are homophones. Done. Hecho. Okay? The first word we're going to take a look at is a common word. And we just looked at the past tense when we were talking about estando sin blanca. And it was in, oh my God. And it was also in yesterday's Say What soundbite, the second column. Okay? The verb in Spanish is romper. Okay? So roto is the word we've looked at a couple times. Okay? No, romperse en pasado. Roto would be broken. Y ahí me callo because I'm probably going to end up saying the word because I've got such a big fucking mouth, as you guys know. So, romper. También, it also means un descanso. Okay? We also use it in the expression, no me des tanta caña, ¿no? Quítate de encima, ¿no? Déjame respirar aquí, okay? And I'm sure it has many other meanings, and we're going to look at them, believe me, okay? And the second word, okay, is a part of a car or a bike, okay? It's el freno. También es el verbo frenar, all right? So what are those two words? And do those two words sound exactly the same or not? We'll take a look at that and much more in the fourth and final part of today's show. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. That's right, folks. I can't believe we're in the fourth and final part of today's show. Don't forget, you got amazing programs all afternoon long here on Vaughn Radio, where you can learn English every single day for free, with all kinds of teachers from every single continent on this planet. Vaughn Radio, one of a kind, groundbreaking, revolucionario. And it all started with one man, one mission, one dream. And that man with the plan is Richard Vaughn. And you'll get to hear from him this Friday on FYI for your English. I learned so much, and I'm sure you're going to learn so much from this master teacher, master communicator, Richard Vaughn. As many of you know, he's not just a boss, he's a mentor, at least to me and many of us here at Vaughn Radio, and not just at Vaughn Radio, but in our classrooms as well. Richard Vaughn has always been a leader who leads by example, right? Él enseña con el ejemplo, which is great. You know, he's telling you, you really have to know your stuff in English. He knows his stuff in Spanish. No sabe de lo que habla un poco. You know, he's corrected my Spanish before. Okay. And I said, all right, Richard, point taken. All right. So, my amigos, so much to do. Where are we going to start? We're going to start with our Say What soundbite. This is the fourth and final listen.
A better high means customers pay more. A higher purity means a greater yield. That's $130 million of profit that isn't being pissed away by some substandard cook. Now you listen to me.
All right. There you go, folks. That was the fourth and final lesson. Listen. I keep saying lesson. I don't know why. And they don't sound the same. Lesson, listen. Oh, man. I guess I'm getting tongue-tied with those two words today. All right, let's take a look at our homophone. Speaking of two words, a set of words. The first person to take a stab at it is our amigo Kubla, and he says it's and they sound the same. Salvador agrees. Laura agrees. Interesting. And all right, guys. Anybody else? I thought these were pretty easy, and if three super show with no namers are telling you they sound the same, well, do you trust them? Yeah, well, so do I. There's no doubt in my mind I trust my super students. Let's take a look at the first word, break. Give me a break. So break. Break, I think the first thing that pops into your mind is romper. Don't break that. Don't break that mirror, please. 7 years bad luck. Break. Break, broke, broken. Que vimos broke antes, que no es roto, es sin blanca. If you say I'm broken, estoy jodido. If you say I'm broke, it means I don't have any money. Parecido, right? In today's society, it means the same thing, right? I'm broke and I'm broken because I'm broke. And in the States, I remember when I was a kid, we used to rhyme it. I'm broke as a joke, man. Como una broma, un chiste. No tengo ni un duro aquí. So remember, the word break can give us a lot more. What about break up? Right? Sometimes people go through a difficult breakup. They break up, right? I told you before on the phone, you're breaking up. Se te corta la voz. No, se corta la conexión. You're breaking up, right? A broken bone. How many people have broken bones? It's very common, unfortunately, right? Also, a break is un descanso, right? At work, we get a break every hour. Imagine every hour you get a nice break. Have a cigarette, have a coffee, relax. Well, some people take a break every hour, but just be careful if you tell somebody, give me a break. Y esto es la entonación. Give me a break. No estás diciendo a tu jefe, necesito un descanso del trabajo, pero give me a break. Necesito un descanso de tus brasas. Come on, give me a break. No me, déjame un segundo aquí. Give me a break, right? Excellent. It was a very popular show too called Give Me a Break in the United States. And it's also the Kit Kat song. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a break. Right. And then we got so many phrasal verbs, right? A mental breakdown, right? Ha tenido un patatus, a breakdown. When you have a nervous breakdown, un ataque de los nervios, a breakdown. To break down, desglosar algo también. Okay, guys, we're going to break down the different structures that we looked at today. But don't break into my home because I'll shoot you. I don't have a gun, but I'll find a way. I'll shoot you with my daughter's water gun. So to break into, entrar en una casa a la fuerza. And again, I think we could literally spend the rest of the show talking about the many uses of the word break. Break out. They broke out of prison, right? There was a virus that broke out, estalló. I mean, seriously, we can go on and on and on. So take a look at the word break and just realize it's got a lot of meanings. And the second word, break, como habéis dicho, it's pronounced exactly the same. Lo único se escribe braque. So to hit the brakes, normalmente se usa en plural en el coche, right? Hit the brakes, okay? Does this bike have a hand brake or a pedal brake? Y el verbo, man, you need to brake. You can say to hit the brakes or to brake. Now, is it regular or irregular? Did you say I broke yesterday? No, I braked. So, como no se escribe igual, este es un verbo regular. He braked too soon. Okay. Well, you can never brake. He braked too late. No, you brake too soon, and that's wonderful. Paras a tiempo. I got to think about what I'm saying sometimes. All right. So there we go, my amigos. And hopefully you'll get your big break like Monse. Oh, toma. Acabamos con ese uso de my big break. Este es mi salto, mi golpe de suerte, mi momento, right? A lot of people go to Hollywood in search of their big break. All right, amigos. So excellent job in the homophone section. It's time for another challenge. One of our hardest ones, usually. It's Double Trouble. Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. That's right, amigos. It's double trouble. You know it. And here we go with today's double trouble. Is it an easy one? Well, let's start off by saying no. I'm going to say I don't think it's easy. All right? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, please. I would love for you to prove me wrong. Okay, basta ya. Estoy harto de que seas el payaso de la clase, said the teacher. Right? Si quieres un contexto, ahí lo tienes. So, basta ya. Give me a break, hemos visto, es una forma de decirlo, right? Pero estoy harto de que seas el payaso de la clase. You have to use the same word twice. As always, that's one of the conditions in the double trouble section. All right. So also, guys, remember, if you want to participate, just like your buddy Salva did. I just called you Salvador. I'll call you. I'm sure some of your friends call you Salva. And since we're friends, I'm going to call you Salva. But if you want to send us a message like many of our students have done, like my daughter has done, you can think of what you want to say. Keep it simple. I mean, in life, not just in the message. You know, it's better to say one thing good than say too many things. Start by introducing yourself. Hi, my name is Karen. I tune in from the United States. I never thought I could master English until I discovered Vaughn Radio, but whatever. And a shout out to all my fellow classmates. You can send it to aalonso@grupovaughn.com. aalonso@grupovaughn.com is my email address. All right. And you know what we can do while you guys are figuring it out? Because we got to move on here. While you're figuring out the double trouble, let's start our joking section.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar.
You're joking. That's right, amigos. You're joking only on the show with no name. And let's take a look, though, before we start our jokes. I know you guys are really eager. I know you're really looking forward to these jokes. Okay, I'm joking right now. But there's some good ones today. I got to be honest. I say that every day, but I'm serious. All right, Kubla wants to take a stab at today's tricky double trouble. And he says, Basta ya is cut it up. Almost. Kubla? Rozando. You're right. Right there. So cut it up is recórtalo. Córtalo en trozos. Right? Córtalo destruyendo. Literalmente. But Kubla, I think maybe you want to. All right, well, not bad. Excellent, but it's not right. But it's close. He says, I'm sick that you are the cut up. Okay? So I'm sick. I would say I'm sick of you being, right? I'm sick of you being, es lo que yo tengo aquí. I'm sick of you being tal. Okay? And excellent, Kubla, the second part is perfect. The vocabulary word, a cut up. I was the class cut up. I was always cutting up in class, right? I was always cutting up in class. I was the class cut up. I was making the students laugh. I was entertaining everybody. That's what I did. I regret it now because maybe some people wanted to learn and I was distracting them with comedy. So, excellent. I like it. We're on the verge here. Okay, German gives us the first part. Hey, so German, good job. That's the first part. Guys, all right. It's a team effort here. You guys just have to walk around together now. Kubla and German, you just got to walk around together and finish each other's sentences. So German starts it out saying, cut it out. Absolutely, German. Cut it out. Ya te vale. Cut it out. Okay, you can say cut the shit too, pero es vulgar. Cut it out. Basta ya. Okay? Estoy harto de que seas el payaso de la clase. I am sick of you being the class cut up. So incredible. The word cut there, which was our name, that movie was called Cutters, right? Cutter's Way. So the good thing about the verb cut. Ya está conjugado. Ya está. That's it. So excellent job. Teamwork over there. Cut it out. You can also say, by the way, the class clown. Si es más fácil. But I wanted to teach you that. Cut it out. I'm sick of you being the class cut up. All right, my amigos, it's time to move on, though. It's time for a little celebration in today's famous birthday trivia. Famous famous birthdays for me.
Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Birthdays for her. Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
Oh, yeah, folks. That's right. It's famous birthdays. And don't forget to let us know when it's your birthday, and we can play this awesome jingle for you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. We love you. We love
That's
you.
right. We love you. We love you. Happy birthday. If anybody's celebrating a birthday today, that's for you. Let's see if you can figure out who our birthday boys and girls are. The first person was born in 1946. So a little bit older than my mother. Well, a little bit older if he had survived. He passed away in 2017. Falleció en el año 2017. He passed away, he passed on, or just he passed. Pero recomiendo que no uses died because, like, just practice using the politically correct, the nice one, So I mentioned his name before because he was in our movie Cutter's Way. In fact, he played the lead role of Cutter. This was a movie that came out in 1981. He was also in the movie Cat People, which I don't remember. Also, Beaches in 1988, which that won a lot of awards. That was with Bette Midler. And the song, You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings. Also, he was in Big. He played the snobby guy who was playing racquetball, who was in love with Tom Hanks's love interest, that guy. And the Pelican Brief, the movie White Chicks, which I don't know if we could make movies like that. White Chicks. Dos negros vestidas de chicas blancas tontas. Is that are we allowed to do that? I mean, I don't know. I thought Home Alone. Oh, that, of course, you probably know him from Home Alone and Home Alone 2, where he played Kevin McAllister's father, Peter. And he was also in Prison Break. Hey, we looked at the word break today in our homophone section. And he was Vin Makazian on The Sopranos. And I've got to tell you something. If you want to check out The Sopranos, before you watch this epic series that was a turning point, un antes y un después, well, what you've got to do is you've got to listen to the FYI episode on Sopranos. All right. It's awesome. It's, well, you know why? I lived there. I know the area. I know these real people. Like, I'm not saying I'm a mafioso, please. And if anybody's listening, I'm not. I've never committed a crime in my life. All right. And what else? I guess if you don't know who he is now, you're not going to know who he is ever. The next person was born in 1944, an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist who falleció. How did we say it? I gave you 3 ways to say it. Falleció. He passed away, or he passed on in 1997. Some of his songs, Pancho and Lefty, For the Sake of the Song, Por el Amor de la Canción, If I Needed You, To Live is to Fly, which is a beautiful, they consider this guy one of the masters in American songwriting. This is a guy who influenced Bob Dylan. Okay, ahí lo digo todo, because Bob Dylan is a guy who has influenced generations of writers, of singers, of songwriters, singer-songwriters, right? So this guy, I mean, and Bob Dylan and so many others. So he's got that Americana song. And he was really good at finger picking, which is a guitar style. And last but not least, this guy broke bad. Hey, we've looked at the word break a lot today. Well, give me a break. I'm trying to make sure you remember the word. Yes, he played the lead, Walter White. He was also the dad in Malcolm in the Middle. I remember watching this guy before he was as famous as he is now, as Walter White in Breaking Bad. I remember seeing him as the dentist in Seinfeld. And that's an interesting thing. I know Spanish people, you don't get Seinfeld. But let me tell you something. Seinfeld is some of the greatest actors started on Seinfeld. And then you're like, oh, that's the guy from, oh my God, look at how young he was. So if you want to see this guy, casi digo su nombre, if you want to see him in action as the dentist, put dentist Seinfeld, and it doesn't even really look like him. And he really did such a fantastic job. Speaking of fantastic jobs, give it up for Kubla. Number 1, John Hurd. Number 2, Townes Van Zandt. And number 3, Bryan Cranston. And that brings us over to our Say What soundbite. It's Bryan Cranston as Walter White in the series Breaking Bad. And he goes, a better high means customers pay more. O sea, que si se colocan mejor, ¿no? Mejor colocación, pues los clientes pagan más. A higher purity, pureza, purity, means a greater yield. And your yield is what you produce, right? We talk about crops. We talk about the yield. También es ceder el paso. It's a great word to know. Write it down. That's $130 million of profit de beneficios. Okay. Normalmente no lo ponemos en ese. That's $130 million, not millions of dollars, $1 million. And it's not, remember, it's a little bit different. You say 130 millones. Nosotros, 130 million of profit that isn't being pissed away, que no lo está malgastando, by some substandard cook, cocinero. And it's because they're cooking crystal. Remember I said crystal clear? They're cooking crystal. He goes, now you listen to me. And that's Walter White doing what he does best, threatening people. Here's birthday boy Bryan Cranston.
A better high means customers pay more. A higher purity means a greater yield. That's $130 million of profit that isn't being pissed away by some substandard cook. Now you listen to me.
All right, folks, and time for the final section. Name that lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric. Name that lyric. Name that lyric. Name that lyric. Only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. Name that lyric. Only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. It's name that lyric. Only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. You know it. It is the end of today's show. And thank you so much. I know you guys are going to miss my jokes today. See? I'll quote a song, hablando de canciones, by Cinderella. I love this group from the 80s. Don't know what you got till it's gone. No sabes lo que tienes hasta que no está. Now you guys are begging me for my jokes. Well, hopefully tomorrow we'll have more time, but we literally have a minute left. So thank you for a magical job. You guys did so well. And I'm going to give you today's song. It's Townes Van Zandt, our birthday boy. And the song is, I forgot which one I got here now. Oh, this is great. I forgot the song. Hold on. Let me check. Townes Van Zandt. And the song is To Live Is to Fly. If you want to check out the lyrics with us, we don't have time to go over them. But again, thank you for learning, laughing, and having fun with us here on the show with no name. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we're going to come back tomorrow And we're going to have some more fun with different movies, different songs, and maybe even some jokes, amigos. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And don't forget, up next, you've got the amazing Ximena Holiday with Test Your English. Thank you so much, folks. And let's say goodbye with an American classic today. Woohoo! You got to do that old woohoo! Come on.
Won't say I love you,
baby.
Won't say I need you, baby.
You hear the influence there?
But I'm gonna get you, babe. And I will not do you wrong.